What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's really been moving it, and just everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up 1.23% pre-market, and a couple of different attributing factors why it's moving higher. One is just the fact that it did get absolutely beaten down yesterday, somewhat unjustified in my opinion, but we also did have some data points that did come out. So you had NBS manufacturing as well as this manufacturing. NBS is a little bit more broad, government driven, which did come in a little bit lower than the forecast, so 49 versus 50, so not really all that great. Shows more of a contraction is occurring, at least in that, but 50.4 versus 49.8 with the other, so that shows kind of the opposite happening. And that one's a little bit more focused, 500 companies, a little bit more independent. So I think at the end of the day, that is relatively mixed slash more optimistic data points. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. But more importantly, NIO did put out their April delivery numbers, and so it does show Firefly did start in late 2025. It doesn't actually go through any numbers in here though. 23,900 vehicles were delivered in April 2025. That's a 53% increase. But year to date, 65,994. So not really in love with these data points. It's not really a reason to buy nor sell. It's still just, we have to wait and see how that all plays out. But for them to have their year-end goal of like 440, it's going to come right down to the wire ultimately. And of that 23, or I guess 24,000, 4,400 is Onvo, 19,269 is NIO. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's okay numbers, nothing really to jump up and down over. But let me know your viewpoint on that. Last but not least, last thing that just came out was this right here. So it looks as though there's going to be some tariff updates by the end of the day. Most likely that is going to be India, so the market won't really care all that much. I think they really want a deal between the States and China. Just the funny thing is, almost every single day it seems to be flip-flopping. You have Trump saying that there's a lot of progress, the deal is going to be coming close, which causes a kind of the market to move higher because of that a little bit. And then you have China pretty much just saying we're not even talking. So I don't know what to believe, but nonetheless though, when the market does truly think that there is like a China US deal coming, it does tend to move the market higher. So let me know your viewpoint on that in the comments below. So shorts going into today, 13.35% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 212.33 million shares. Shorts have been slowly increasing, and they were kind of the culprits on why it did get hit yesterday. So they increased roughly around 6-7 million shares. So definitely doubling down for whatever reason. But aside from that though, as far as today, I feel like they might be still similarly just doubling down. Institutions are somewhat just waiting for big data. We have a lot of big companies unveiling the earnings, so I think that's fueling a lot of the broader market optimism, as you can kind of see right here. So Dow is up 0.45, S&P 0.9, and then NASDAQ up 1.45. So let me know your viewpoint on that, and potentially if you think that Microsoft, I think it's Robinhood, Meta, is going to be enough to really push the broader market higher. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because algorithmic trading, that's one of the big things that does also push NIO. And so if the market's optimistic, then NIO could really benefit from that. But aside from that, looking at the options from yesterday, rather low volume. So you had 1.48 million in calls, 369 in puts, 49% optimistic though. So people were kind of buying the dip, if that somewhat makes sense. Right now though, based on this, so you do see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 4 to 450, and then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 4. So just watch for a lot of the data points and kind of technicals, but right now with it at 409 pre-market, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 391 is going to be a strong support. Flip side, 420 is going to be the next strong target size resistance. So right now, I think this is why shorts have been really increasing, to break it down on a technical standpoint, but this isn't the first time that they've done that. But No actual real substantial articles coming out, no new analyst ratings. As you can kind of see, last one was done 8/10 4 days ago, price target. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, just NIO is still going to be heavily manipulated. For those individuals that have been in NIO for the last like year and a half, 2 years, you'll know that this kind of is normal now. It's just, it gets manipulated down, kind of gains some momentum, gets bounced off of key kind of resistance levels, rinse and repeat. So ultimately that's kind of what happened. So it did bounce off of that 100-day moving average, putting it below the 50, because the 50 is generally a big deal for NIO. So as far as today, watch for 418 and then 429. Those are also some key levels. So that's the 50 and 100-day moving average. But most likely shorts, their bigger plan is just to ensure that it stays away from the 50-day moving average. So they'll be most likely increasing once again, just to kind of kill the technicals as per usual. But then again, for those individuals that like NIO, it's just cheaper prices. So you can average down, do what you need to do, and it's all about timing, right? So individuals that did buy in around that $3 range, you made some pretty good money if you were, let's say, a swing trader or whatever else. But NIO is just one of those frustrating stocks. Like very rarely does it actually like fully on like breakout where shorts are kind of left off, like not really on guard or whatever. But yeah, more common than not, it does kind of get bounced off of that 50-day moving average time and time again. And that's, again, because of shorts. So hopefully there is going to be some good tariff updates that will be able to push NIO and other Chinese stocks higher, because I don't think that these numbers right here will be sufficient to really push NIO. So let me know your viewpoint. Do you think I'm being overly critical on them, or do you think it's somewhat justified? What's your general thoughts on all that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.